Alright, so I'm going to go over the directions for your calculus Take It to the Limit project for the 6 weeks. I'm going to start off by telling you that each question is worth 1 point, and there are 12 on the first page. There are 24 questions on the second page. On the third page there are 15, and then on the back page there are 8. So there are a total of 59 questions, and it's out of 100 points. So the way that I'm going to compute your grade, 100 divided by the 59 gives each of them about 1.7 points. So each question is pretty much 1.7 points. They're actually 1.6949, but that's how you're going to get your grade. So if you miss 5 of them, then 5 times 1.7, take that from 100, and that would give you your grade. So these are on limits. Take it to the limit. So on the first page, you're supposed to evaluate these 12 limits. You can look at the graph of them, but don't trust the standard window for limits. You need to plug in some values to test your hypothesis. So if you think it's infinity, plug in some really, really big numbers to make sure that that works. If you think it's negative infinity, then plug in some numbers to see if that works. Not all of them are going to be infinity or negative infinity. Some of them may be a specific number. Some of them may not exist because the left and the right hand limits do not equal. So we talked about limits earlier in the year, and so you either want to factor these or simplify them or maybe plug them in. You can look at the graph. You just need to make sure that you're looking at the whole graph and not just a little small portion of it. Okay, so that's for the first page. You want to evaluate the limits. For the next page, it says limit bingo. So you're going to find each limit. There are 24 questions here, down here at the bottom. There are 24, and there are 25 up here. So that means up here, there's going to be one of those answers that is not used. Now, each answer that you get for these down here, you are going to find your answer up at the top, circle it, and also write the problem number in the square. So let's say that the limit for this one equals -1. It doesn't, that's not the answer, but if it did equal -1, then we would circle this and we would write 1 in this box because our answer for problem number 1 gave us this. Okay, so that means that nowhere else are we going to get a -1. So if you end up where you have 2, they give you the same answer, then you've done something wrong with one of them, or maybe both of them. Okay, so you keep working your problems, and you can go in any order until you have circled 5 in a row, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, and you shout bingo. However, to receive full credit, you do have to work all 24 problems, and you have to write the number in the correct square. So you shout bingo whenever you get bingo, but you do have to work all 24 of these. So if you're at home, you can shout out bingo. If you're here, you can shout out bingo. You can do it at lunch or whenever you're working on this. You can shout it out if you'd like. But you do actually have to work all 24. Now, I realize that you may not have enough room on this page to write out all of your work. So if you need to, put it on some scratch paper and then staple it to the back whenever you get done. So that's for the limits bingo. For the next page, we have a limits worksheet, and it's basically the same thing. It's not a bingo though, but it's set up the same way. You're going to evaluate all of these limits, and all of the answers are somewhere up here in the box. So again, only one of these is going to give us a 6 or a 5/3 or a 5 or a negative infinity. Not all of the ones in the box will be used because there are 25 in the box, and we only have 15 questions down here. So you evaluate your limit, and you should get one of the numbers in this box up here for your answer. If you don't, then you've done something wrong. Okay, so you can simplify, you can plug in, you can look at the graph, but you've got to figure out a way to evaluate each limit and show your work. You can possibly fit these on the same page, but if not, just put them on that scratch paper that you're going to staple to the back. Okay, and now the last page, dealing with limits. These are AP type questions. There are 8 of them. Okay, you are going to find the limit of each. You can use our shortcuts if you remember them. Whenever you're approaching infinity only, you can plug in, you can factor and then plug in, you can look at the graph. Whatever you need to do to find the limits, just if you have Scratchwork, you need to make sure to put that on your paper so that I can go over it and see where you went wrong if you messed up somewhere. So again, that is your project for the 6 weeks. Hopefully that helps you a little bit, but it's basically on limits. Go back in your notes if you need to. Look in the book on the chapters where we talked about limits. But that's what you would do for your project there.